Here we are with the next installment of Are They Doomed? Well, it's time to hit up Jaguar. Yes, the famous British tractor company that got into making some pretty cool sports cars. Are they doomed? Well, they were at one point. They were bought out by a bigger company, and that's who we're going to be focusing on quite a bit for the sake of this analysis. Let's take a look. Let's see. Are they doomed? I'm Brian. Welcome to Futuraza. So here it is. All these cool Jaguar electric cars. Whoopsie doodle. Don't need that. So we're going to talk first about the engineering. As a reminder, I give a 10-point scale on each of 5 criteria. Those numbers are then made into a 100% scale. Basically, you double each number. It's very basic math, which I'm good at. 2024 Jaguar iPace. So we're talking engineering here. How good is it? Well, it's 73 grand, but that's just the first part. That looks to me like just a sedan. Maybe it's a little taller. They keep saying it's an SUV. That's an SUV? Okay. I mean, if the Model Y is an SUV, I guess that's an SUV. Still a looker, fistful of grunt, delectable driving dynamics, but with uneven brake pedal feel at low speeds, charge rate, and estimated range could use improvement. That's not a good sign. Not for 73 grand. What is the range? Does it say 0 to 60 in 4.3 seconds? That's all right. It's not terribly exciting. 90 kilowatt hour pack provides an EPA range of 246. And if you go with the 22-inch wheels, it drops all the way to 217. That's unacceptable. That's bad engineering, my friend. If we take a look at which car does it replace? I just pulled this up on the old Jugles, and people are saying, well, maybe it's like a Model Y. Others are saying, no, you got to go with Audi. It's more like an Audi. In terms of comfort, I'm sure it is more like an Audi. But I did click on that link. Jaguar I-Pace, this is very unbiased comparison between the iPace and the Tesla Model Y by Imperial Motors Jaguar of Lake Bluff. I'm sure this will be very balanced. Let's take a look here. Oh, here's a chart. Isn't this neat? Battery capacity, 90 kilowatt hours versus not applicable. 400 horsepower, not applicable. 500 pounds of torque. 246 miles of range versus the Model Y at 260, and it's faster 0 to 60. So interesting that they took the base Model Y when the base Model Y is just about half the price of this. It is. The Jaguar doesn't qualify for the incentive, I don't believe. Let me take a look. It's not here. It is not there. So the Jaguar does not apply. That does not get the credit. So this costs twice as much. You should be comparing it to a performance model. And the battery is smaller on the Model Y. It's not 90 kilowatt hours. And it gets more than 260 miles of range. And certainly more than 246 and way faster. So if you're really comparing it to a Model Y, first of all, fill out your chart. Again, we're still on engineering. This is terrible. Why is this so painful? Now we're looking at the fuel economy because, again, engineering, it's not good. 390 watt hours per mile. 390. That's terrible. If you look at a Model 3, it's more like 220 to 250. A Model Y comes in at about 300. This is 30% worse than an actual Model Y. That is very inefficient. There are a lot of companies out there making very efficient cars. Jaguar is not one of them. This is a problem. So for engineering, sadly, I'm going to give them a 3. That is not good engineering. Oh, good, it's comfortable. You invented a couch. I'm very impressed. And we're not even talking about things like autonomy yet, because that makes the whole game look so bizarre. Demand. What do you imagine global sales for Jaguar is? Jaguar, I mean, you've seen them a million times, right? What's the demand? What do they actually sell? Would it surprise you to know that it's about 100,000 a year? Whoa! What? That's proper mental. Now the numbers are, this has got some projections in it. Make it a little bigger for you. That didn't make it bigger at all. We're in 2022. That's a real number, 83,000, 83.9, projecting 84.9, and then slight increases moving forward. So that's not good, you guys. That is not good at all. They're struggling. Executive cars, large cars, luxury in that very narrow band in the middle. I don't know what that differentiation is. Sports cars and then SUVs being the largest segment in some years. That's not a lot of sales. They could completely electrify and it would be not that much volume. So they just need to do it. We look here, we find out that I would like you to subscribe if you get a chance. If I just had as many subscribers as I have viewers, I would get respect and admiration. And maybe I would get invited to events, official events. But I don't. I got to work on that. I got to work on it. Cost controls, another big element. Under demand, I'm going to give them a 2. A 2, I think, is fair. They do not have demand. They do not have demand. So now we're on to cost controls. How are they doing there? Hopefully better, right? Well, you've got all the savings of it being made in India. Is it? Tata Motors from India, but no, Jaguars are primarily made in the UK with some production in India and China. So yeah, they've got England. Let's see. They're mostly made in, so the cost savings you might imagine on the manufacturing side are not there. If you look at other sources, you'll see that the engineering is also done in England. A lot of it, certainly not all of it. So that's, they've got 3 manufacturing plants across the UK. And the engineering center is also over there. So, cost controls are fine. India is, reasonably affordable. Tata Motor Group is good. We're talking cost controls. It's probably fine. I'm going to give them a 4 because those cars are too expensive for what they are. And if they could lower the price, they would move more units. Yeah. Cash on hand. How are they doing? Again, you might need a couple billion if you want to retool. These are small factories. I think $2 billion per factory would be more than enough. I don't know that for a fact. The problem is when you're talking about a low volume manufacturer, you don't get the economies of scale. You're not going to introduce gigacastings, probably, because the amortization for the equipment is so high that you need to move hundreds of thousands of units. And I just don't see it making sense unless they could get parts commonality between all models. Seems a little unlikely. Cash on hand. Well, we're going to look at Tata Motors. Might need to make that a little bigger. Cash flow. Here we are. 2022 wasn't great, but other years, $1 billion-ish. Oh, that's cash flow. Okay, this should have been in the cost controls. Cash flow. Yeah. What did I say? 4? That's fine. Here's the cash on hand. What are we looking at? Look at that. This is all of Tata Motors at 1.3 million cash on hand. Got as high as 8 billion. Spent some money, but they're still holding steady. 6 to 7 billion. Not chump change. It is enough that Tata could retool Jaguar. They wouldn't. Not if they only have 7.5 billion. They're not going to take 2-3 billion out and dump it into Jaguar. Cash on hand, I'm giving them a 5 because while this number is plenty, it's not plenty when you divide it by all the factories owned by Tata Motors. So that's, and then we're still talking cash on hand, right? This is a possible solution. This is part of the roadmap. I'm going to move it over. So now we're talking roadmap. Yeah, I had it in just the wrong spot. My apologies. In terms of the roadmap, we've got Jaguar and Land Rover scales back EV plans to focus on hybrids. That's not great. Why would they do that? This is from February. But then in March, Jaguar ending production of gas cars entirely, even before the new EVs arrive. Well, that's exciting. Wait, before the new EVs? You can't do it before. That's how you you've got to have the cash flow. Maybe get them done at the same time. And then Jaguar commits to fully electric lineup by 2025. The problem is they don't have the skills. They don't have the skills to pay the bills, my friend. They need to have better cars. They need to have better engineering. And it's clear that the team at Jaguar is not large enough to actually make their own equipment. Well, they could buy equipment. They could buy patents and motors and things from others. But then you've got middleman costs. Then you've got engineering and integration issues. That's not a great strategy. But the winning strategy is, and of course I spoiled it by showing, is that Tata Motors has a lineup of EVs already. The drivetrain that's in the Curve EV could go in a Jaguar. Why couldn't it? Same for the Punch. Same for the Nexon. Why couldn't they? What they'll need to do to survive is not buy motors from someone else, not buy drivetrains and batteries and integrated systems from someone else, but to borrow them from their own parent company. That's their strategy to get forward into the future. Bunch of EVs. Tata makes a bunch of EVs. So, and you can see they've got charging centers all over in this place. Yeah, it's interesting and should work a treat. But with that said, roadmap, I'm going to be generous and say 6. No, I can't do it. I have to say 5. Before we get on to the rating, I would like to remind you to like, subscribe, do all that. What did I miss and misunderstand? I'm getting to the rating. Don't leave yet. But you got to let me know in them comments below because that's how we do it. So here we are looking at Jaguar, and we've got 3, 2, 4, 5, 5. Only down 1 point from last time. Not too bad. Stay tuned and juicy. I cannot wait to hear from you, clever robots, on the flippity flop.